Let's make a stunning start. That's right. He took off his shoes, sit down, chatting casually with a hidden agenda. He asked her to try it, but rejected. David nervously glanced at the door, undoing rectangular constraints. David started to feel the jitters as the lady walked toward the bathroom. He thought to himself, this can't end well, and the girl was in a whirl of worries, sensing trouble brewing. She tried to locate David's book, but the shouts from the bathroom led to some serious misunderstandings. Clothes were escaping. It was a hot mess. The girl looked shocked. David's explanations fell on deaf ears. She wanted to act early. What? However, she was indeed flying in the sky, sharing her loneliness. David pondered. Could it be that she truly intends to drag him up to heaven with her? The girl exhorted David to wake up promptly, but he was concerned about missing out on something significant. Nevertheless, she boldly charged into the heavens alone, as if seeking endless amusement. She kept pleading for David, searching for him, totally in endless searching mode. So it goes, the girl headed to the rooftop, and David followed, trying to convince her he already had a girlfriend. How heartbreakingly predictable. What an unexpected confession. Just when David was heartbroken, the girl appeared right beside him. Perhaps fate. They silently wished mutual support, reminiscing as David shed a tear. This deep love surprisingly touched the girl beside him, but her brain seemed to be stuck in daydreaming mode. To cheer the girl up, David took her to his friend's mansion, a total mud pit, simply lavish. The opulence before them was all thanks to David. The girl surprisingly dreamt about this place. Perhaps it's a prophecy. It seemed a force of fate tied them together when the phone rang. It was the property manager. Couldn't have said this earlier. She informed David that the landlord had cancelled the short-term lease and was gearing up for a long one. Was this some kind of hint? This meant the sister was going to shut down the girl's life support. Talk about a rush hour scenario. David felt like the sky was exploding. He was huddled in the house, struggling to voice the sister's awkward situation. Their embarrassing circumstances were hard to utter. Just when they thought of lying, his little niece shot a sweet smile at the girl. The girl didn't chase. Soon, the niece returned with cookies, sharing one with her little angel. But no matter how she asked, the niece wouldn't respond, and David voiced his request. But alas, it was too late. He had already signed the papers. Tomorrow at noon, the hospital would shut down the life support. David was beyond anxious. He told his sister he could help them, while she dismissed the two kids before heading to the kitchen. These papers roll away. David calmed down and internally wished, can I please put this on pause? David tried to threaten his sister, and just like that, she erupted. David fluttered away like a petal, asking, are you okay, Mom? I'm off to get tea. And poof, everything vanished. What's going on? The sister fretted over her fate while David resolved to go find the girl's mentor at the hospital. Yet the girl flat out refused. The sister had already signed. Everything was too late, but David wouldn't give. Accompanied by the girl, David approached a salesman who sensed her presence and the emotions involved, asking, are you guys socializing right now? We are socializing, I can tell you, really. I sense she has some intense feelings for you. Really? No, David, I don't, the girl blurted out awkwardly, looking a tad flustered. They probed for methods to restore their souls, but the salesman launched into some deep stuff and decided they weren't worth his time afterward. David was inspired, but had no remedy, feeling like they were being tugged by some force. They only needed a thread, a needle. Yet no matter how much he rummaged, nothing turned up. Desperate, David decided to find the authors behind this madness. However, the girl had decided to give up, unwilling to hustle pointlessly, while the weight of despair led David to comfort her, saying, I want to do something. They gazed at each other, whispering on the pillow. Even as spirits, the girl still felt a tingle of nervousness. She was baffled as to why she felt David's touch when even her closest sister didn't. Conveniently, they raised their hands in sync. They touched in the air. David closed his eyes, silently feeling each other's hearts. Even though the touch was oh so yet they could still sense each other until they both awoke once more. David seemed to be influenced by a dream. He hurriedly put on his shoes, ready to do something wild, no matter how hard the girl tried to stop him. David was determined to save his beloved, thinking, if I lose her, what's the difference if I end up in prison? He realized she would help him and be by his side, but he hadn't confessed the true purpose to his friend. He drove straight to the hospital. While collecting supplies as requested by his beloved, his friend sensed something was off. He thought David had a mental issue, but for the sake of friendship, he still intended to verify everything, and the three of them arrived at the ward. Yet his friend was frozen there. The night the girl had her accident, he witnessed how she met David, the total tragedy. They both missed that encounter, but fate led them apart. Who are you? What's this all for? I was just about to meet you. They were about to move the body when a voice sounded at the door. The doctor arrived 15 minutes early, and David, with love's assistance, managed to win over the director. They were still bickering when the sister and mentor approached, rushing the gurney, only to bump into the security guard. Thanks, mate. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel.